So today's video is probably gonna have noise in the background. It's just the way it is, people. Oh, sorry, that was just me looking at my mug and it's empty. But anyway, hi. Let me get started. So I started recording a video, which I'm probably not going to post because I just abruptly stop. I don't edit. It's all in one take and whatever. Where I was talking about something else. And then when I got to the Dark Goddess Tarot, I just went on a complete Dark Goddess Tarot tangent. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to do my review of Ellen Lorenzi-Prince's The Dark Goddess Tarot. So I was very fortunate. A wonderful, wonderful lady contacted me months ago and said that she had both the Dark Goddess Tarot and Tarot of the Crone sealed. She had backups, and she offered them to me at such a reasonable price. I was like, you know, I'm still grateful. Thank you very much. So today I'm going to talk about the Dark Goddess Tarot, and then I'm going to do the Tarot of the Crone some other time. But just for the sake of to get rolling here, to get my thoughts together, these are two completely different animals. This Tarot of the Crone, I opened it, laid out some cards. For me, it was readable straight out of the box as a tarot. Or a tarot, yeah, as a tarot-like divination deck. This, on the other hand, is a completely different animal. This, to me, this is not. I cannot use this as a tarot. First of all, look at these beautiful backs. Sorry, and it came in this beautiful box with Santissima Muerte on it. Comes with a little guidebook. I have the app on my phone with the full guidebook and the deck and everything, which I had on my phone before I actually got these cards. This is not a tarot deck that I'm going to slap down 12 cards and do a full reading. You know what I mean? Like this is intense energy. I can't imagine putting 12 of these cards down and doing a reading like I normally do with my Rider-Waite, Morgan Greer, whatever, right? Like those kind of tarot decks. This is the deck is heavy. The cardstock is heavy, but also the deck is heavy because it's full of Dark Goddess energy. And see, I know people in real life who are very invested in being edgy. I'm sorry if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. I love you, but you're very invested in being edgy. And you're very invested in your whole dark persona. This deck would kick your ass because there's a lot of people who proclaim to work with the dark goddesses, and this is terrifying shit, people. Dark goddess energy. This is not something to trifle with. You know, you're feeling a little goth or something like that, and you're going to work with dark goddess energy? No. First of all, you don't seek out a dark goddess. She seeks you out, okay? Because if you seek a dark goddess, you don't know what you're going to get, and I've mentioned this in a previous video. You don't know what you're going to get. You could just get a dark spirit. You know what I mean? An entity or something like that. So that opens up a whole other can of worms and a whole other slew of problems. But suppose you do reach out to a dark goddess. Suppose you do reach out to Kali. She'll kick your ass. You know what I mean? It's like there's dark goddess energy, dark goddesses. They're they're not dark because they're malevolent. Um, they're dark because they rule the what's unseen. They rule what is absent, where light is absent. Um, they rule the darkness, and the darkness is scary. Like, go out in the woods in the middle of the night with no lights or anything like that. There's what you can't see. There's in terms like, because of there's no light, but there's also what you can't see because it's just vibrating with energies and entities and spirits, nature spirits, and you be careful is what I'm trying to say. And again, it's I know that, again, I know people who are very invested in being creepy or edgy and whatever, and they're not. They're not. They don't even know what they don't know, or they don't even know what it means. For example, I saw, because of the Santa Muerte tarot deck and the Santa Muerte oracle, lots of people suddenly on the bandwagon, oh, I'm like, I'm called to work with Santa Muerte. Yeah, I felt the call from Santa Muerte, and I almost pooped myself, because Santissima Muerte is not, it's not an energy to be trifled with. That is death. That is death and destruction. But I see people who don't know the culture, people who don't know what that energy is, glamorizing it, making her benevolent, looking at the aspect, at the kind of new ageizing her, and it's like, oh my God, people, be careful what energies you call into your environment. Be careful what energies you call into your life. You feel called to work with Santa Muerte, so you're La Santissima Muerte. What you're doing, basically, essentially, is saying, oh, I'm bringing death into my home. Now, death is a natural part of life, but if you're young, maybe you have young children. You don't invite death to your house. Death's gonna come anyway. So this is the kind of deck, like I said, I think this is this is an incredible, it's a work of art, but it's also a work of, it's a work of spirit. This is a deck that needs to be handled with respect. This is not the deck you turn to ask questions about, Miguel. Does he like me? Is he gonna call me? Is he gonna call me? This is not the deck that, oh, I need to know, how my business is gonna turn out or whatever. This is the kind of deck you turn to learn about these energies, and it's a great starting point. So I'm going to do a flip through. Mine are out of order, and I keep them out of order. I can't explain to you why, but this is not the kind of, I'm not, normally when I'm not using a deck, or when I'm going to do a review, I put them in order. This did not want to be placed in order, so I left her just as she is. And I refer this, it's interesting, this is probably the only, I think this may be the only deck that I refer to as a she. You know, that it's personified. Um, because all my other decks are, I've never called them he or she or anything like that. But this is a she, and darkness precedes light, and she is mother. This is this deck is 78 cards of the womb of creation and destruction. This is I can't I didn't edge it. Okay. If you've been watching me for 5 minutes, you know that I'm all about um, personalizing my decks, edging them. I like edging them more than I like trimming them, but sometimes I have to trim them because the borders, they get on my nerves. This one, this one gives me the vibe of do not modify, do not, don't take, I can't even imagine taking a scissor to this. And I know this may sound a little bizarre, especially coming from me, but and they didn't arrive with this kind of energy, with this power. It was just from looking through it and meditating on these energies, and this is the title card. Meditating on these energies, on these images, on what what it means for Laverna to be the Seven of Air. You know what I mean? Like these, and I've just scratched the surface with this deck. Now, those of you watching who didn't get your hands on the independently produced one, I think it's Schiffer that's coming out with a mass market one this year, towards the end of this year or even sooner. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. See, I do work with the energy of the Black Madonna, and she's, she does have a card in this deck. I do work with some dark goddess energies, or some dark goddesses for that matter. But it's something that I dip into, I do my work, and then I need to step out of that cave, because that's what it feels like. It's working with dark goddess energy is walking into a cave naked with nothing, no clothes, no clothing, nothing to protect you, no light, and I have to say this deck really does carry that energy of what it's like to work with the dark goddesses. This is not a daily draw deck. Oh my gosh, I learned that the hard way. This is not a daily draw. I used to have it, I have it on my phone, like I have the app on my phone. And it has a widget where it gives you the card of the day. Holy cow, that's just too much. It's like, I would click on the card of the day, read the full entry because it has a complete guidebook in the app. Read the full entry and just sit there going, shit, every day. So after I did that for a bit, I just stopped. This is not a daily draw kind of deck. So you might be wondering by this point, well, okay. So, Grace, you know, your opinion is that it's not the kind of tarot deck you do a reading with. No. At least not a divination, fortune telling, zodiac, zodiac spread, what's coming up in the next 3 months kind of reading. No, that's not a. And then I also say that it's not a daily draw kind of deck. No. No. So what kind of deck is this? This is the deck that lives on your shelf. And then when you're looking, when you need a dark goddess, or when you need to go into that cave, that's when you pull out this deck. And then I've done it where I've just straight up asked the dark goddesses, who wants to work with me. Now, some of these energies in here are not goddesses. This is one of them. This is not a goddess. And neither is the Black Madonna. The Black Madonna is not a goddess. I guess, so that would be the only thing, is that for me, like, there's a lot of archetypes in here that are not strict. They're not really goddesses. They're not really divine either. Which means the same thing, pretty much. But I think a better descriptor of this deck is dark feminine forces. See, like, Banshee's not a goddess. It's Banshee. So I'm just going to flip through all the cards so you could see. This again is a tremendous work of art. It's a tremendous tool. It's a tremendous magical tool. It's a tremendous I don't feel comfortable saying spiritual tool, because that word spiritual already has all kinds of, like, love and light connotations, and this is not love and light. This is tough love and darkness. This deck smells like it doesn't smell, but this deck is, in my mind, the smell of blood and viscera. It's the smell of blood and viscera, the smell of seawater. It's that dank smell inside a cave. If you've ever had the opportunity to enter a cave, that it's both dank and dry at the same time. This deck is the tactile experience of touching stone, or trying to move a stone that you can't lift it, you can't move it. This deck is the feeling of being underwater and holding your breath, and you can't hold it a second longer, but you're still submerged and you have no choice but to hold your breath or you drown. This deck invokes the pain, unrelenting. If you've experienced chronic pain, or you've ever experienced unrelenting pain that no pain reliever, no narcotic, nothing can take the edge off. So I feel that this is, again, it's called dark, dark goddess tarot, but it's not. These are, like I said, they're not all goddesses. Some are ancestral spirits. Some are entities. Some are goddesses. Some are elementals. But they are all representative of life and death, but especially death. Like, not death, but the womb of creation, what comes before life. So, and also death. Beautiful. Beautiful. Like I said, a work of art. Absolutely stunning. But certainly not your garden variety tarot deck to do tarot-like readings. So that was my review of The Dark Goddess Tarot by Lorenzi-Prince. Just absolutely incredible. Thanks for watching. Take care. Talk to you soon. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.